She made the announcement as if she were granting herself a crown, a crystal glass lifted, a jeweled smile, that laugh, sharp enough to draw blood. "I'm officially gifting myself a well-deserved divorce," she said, loud enough for the chandelier to tremble. Applause, gasps, then laughter, hers, her friends, the whole room turning into a stage she'd been rehearsing for. And I just stood there, half lit by the warm shimmer of the party lights, wondering at the precision of her performance. She had prepared this, scripted it, memorized every inflection. I didn't flinch. I simply watched her drink in the attention, as if betrayal tasted like champagne. Emily laughed the hardest, a hand over her mouth, a little tilt of her head toward me, mocking, or maybe nervous. My wife's voice rang again, bright and practiced. "Oh, don't look at him like that. He knows, he's accepted it. He should have seen the divorce coming." The lie slid off her tongue like something she'd grown comfortable with. I kept my breath steady, because I did know, just not the way she thought. So I turned to Emily, still laughing, still glowing with the pleasure of someone else's downfall, and I let my voice cut quietly through the noise. "Why are you laughing so hard?" A pause. "She'll be generously gifting herself to your husband again right after this party ends." The room froze, a crack in time, and for the first time that evening, the laughter stopped. Inside, I felt nothing, just calculation, and the faintest pulse of justice beginning to rise. It started weeks earlier. A message that wasn't meant for me, a name I didn't recognize, a tone I knew too well. I remember staring at her phone as it lit up on the kitchen counter, the screen glowing like an exposed nerve. "He's leaving the house now. Come over." Not my number, not her sister's, not work. A simple domestic moment, broken clean in half with 9 words. I didn't open the phone. I didn't need to. The sender's name, Daniel M., was familiar enough to sting, Emily's husband. And my wife had smiled at me that same morning, kissed my cheek, called me her steady place. The hypocrisy was almost elegant. Still, I said nothing. I watched patterns instead, her sudden weekends away, her exaggerated excitement about girls' nights, the way she guarded her phone like a newborn. I accepted every lie with a nod, because denial is just a quiet strategy in disguise. Inside, suspicion grew like a slow fire beneath my ribs. Calm, controlled, certain. I wanted the truth, not the theatrics, and truth demands patience. So I studied her timing, her excuses, her faint smell of someone else's cologne drifting home at 2 a.m. I didn't rage, didn't accuse. I simply observed my marriage unravel, one unanswered question at a time, until the threads were visible to anyone willing to look. And I looked, long enough to see everything. It's surprising how easy it is to trace betrayal when you stop pretending it's not there. Phone bills, location logs, patterns hiding in plain sight. I collected details the way a surgeon collects instruments, quietly, methodically, without emotion. Her messages were coded but predictable, her routes consistent, her lies clumsy when examined under even the softest light. I followed the digital trail first, hidden photo backups, deleted conversations, calendar alerts marked as yoga. Yoga had a beard, apparently, and a wife named Emily. The irony felt almost generous. Still, I didn't confront her. I let her believe her performance was convincing. I let her think she still held the reins, because people like her always assume silence means ignorance, but silence can mean preparation. I gathered evidence with a steady hand, screenshots, timestamps, a quiet meeting with a private investigator who didn't need to ask why I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry. Anger is inefficient. I was assembling. Every day I watched her move through our home with the casual ease of someone confident in their deception. Every smile she gave me was rehearsed, every excuse polished, but I cataloged them all. The night she came home late with her lipstick smudged and her excuses trembling, I simply moved aside and let her pass, let her think she was safe, let her think she was clever, because the truth was coming, and I wanted her to meet it head on, without a script. The report arrived on a Thursday, a slim envelope, unassuming, deadly. I read every page twice. Daniel's name appeared more times than my own. Dates, locations, photos, proof that dissolved any lingering trace of doubt.
I felt nothing. No heartbreak, no rage, just a strange, clean clarity. That evening, she walked into the kitchen humming, unaware, untouchably smug. I placed the report on the counter between us, flat, deliberate. "What's this?" she asked, the pitch of her voice rising half an inch.
"A mirror," I said. She opened it. Her eyes darted. Her face shifted. Shock, then panic, then something like collapse. She whispered my name, as if that could undo anything. I watched her carefully. Not cruelly, just observantly. She tried to explain, but explanations are worthless when the evidence is already breathing on the table between you. Her tears didn't move me. Her apologies didn't land. I had what I needed. And she finally understood that silence hadn't been forgiveness. It had been reconnaissance. Which brings us back to the party, to her toast, her bravado, her friends laughing like trained hyenas. She thought she was blindsiding me, claiming the upper hand, performing her final scene with flourish. But betrayal is only powerful when the betrayed is unprepared, and I wasn't. So when I turned to Emily, when I delivered the line that cracked the room open, I did it the way a surgeon makes a final incision. Precise, necessary, inevitable. Emily's face drained of color. Her laughter died mid-breath. The glass slipped from her hand and shattered at her feet. My wife's expression twisted. Shock, horror, then a desperate plea forming behind her eyes. Too late. Daniel froze across the room, guilt making him immobile. The party fell into a suffocating silence. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Truth speaks loudly enough when timed correctly. I stepped back, letting the chaos swirl around them, my wife scrambling for control, Emily shaking, Daniel unable to look up. All of them caught in the same trap they'd set for me. And I stayed calm, composed, untouchable. I left the party before anyone found their breath. No dramatic exit, no parting shot, just a quiet walk into the cold night air. Distance felt clean, necessary. My phone buzzed again and again, calls, messages, pleas, but I let them pile up like debris behind me. I didn't need to reply. Some truths stand on their own. The night felt still, almost peaceful, as if shedding a weight I had carried too long. I realized something then. Betrayal isn't the wound, it's the revelation. And revelation, once seen, can never be unseen. I didn't look back. Why would I? I finally understood the one thing she never expected me to learn. I was never the one who needed saving. She was the one who needed hiding, and I simply stepped out of the shadows.